Hi Holly, nice to see you again.
You too.
How's your week been?
Not too bad, I mean, here and there.
Yeah, I can understand that. But yeah, it's great, and you're feeling good for today's therapy session, tired?
Yeah, I'm good. I'll be okay.
Yeah, okay, awesome. And Barb, nice to meet you. I'm Simone. I'm the community occupational therapist.
Lovely to meet you, Simone.
Yeah, love to meet you too. Thank you for having me in your home today.
You're welcome.
I met Holly last week, but I haven't met you yet. Have you had much experience with an occupational therapist?
Not personally, but Holly had an OT in the rehab clinic or the rehab setting.
Yeah.
Earlier, but nothing since she's come home.
So, perfect. Our role in the community occupational therapist is very similar to the role that she was working with in the rehab clinic. We're just looking now at, we're still working towards Holly's goals and wanting to get her back participating in the things that are really important to her and getting her involved in various activities of her day that she feels that she wants to work towards completing independently, or that we can work together as a team to try and get her to complete. But it's great now because now we're able to do this in her home environment, and also in the community at the community centre. And when we start getting back to it, we'll be able to do some intervention that's working on getting her back to work and getting her in the community. So it's great because we're actually seeing that when we can get people doing therapy in their natural settings and in their natural environments, it's actually seen to be more productive for them and they make more progress. And we can also make sure that what we're doing in our therapies is suitable to their environment and is suitable for Holly at home,
Of course.
and what she's working towards at home, and make sure strategies, are going to be okay. Because we want you to have as much progress from this point forward.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, same with you?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad we're all on the same team here, guys. Last week when we were in the clinic, we actually started some work on an intervention called occupation-based strategy training. So it's great that you're in here today because we really want the family to be involved in this process as well. And it's great because you're able to learn now what we're doing with Holly and the same process that we're going through.
Yeah.
So that way when she goes home and she's working on these goals, you can support her as well to work towards some progress and work towards some goals. And
great.
especially with the strategies that we come up with together in therapy, you can help.
Yeah, wanting to involve myself a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's going to be great. So Holly, when we started doing some work last week, we went over a bit of a strategy that we can take for working towards our goals. Do you remember what the strategy was at all and what we were doing?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Don't stress. We did go through it. We went through a lot last week, so we're going to go through it together again. So I've got a handout here for us. We had the general overall strategies that we were learning, and we're going to apply that to your goals. So do you remember this one? The goal, plan, do, check?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of rings a bell. So do you remember what goal stands for, or kind of what goal could mean?
What I'm working towards?
Yeah, do you remember when we made those goals last week? No?
Sorry.
Do you remember? That's okay, we wrote them down just because it's always good to write things down. It helps us remember. We can keep track of them. So we'll start with goal. So what do you think goal might mean?
Like what I'm working towards?
Yeah, absolutely. And do you remember one of the goals that we set last week in the clinic?
Well, cooking dinner for Brad.
That was it, perfect, yeah. So you said it was really important that you wanted to get back when you, start, now you're back home, you're going to be more involved in that relationship with your boyfriend, which is really important. Yeah, and you said you used to cook for him, that's right?
Yeah, we used to cook dinner all the time. It used to be like our date night. I'd love to get back to that.
Yeah, that sounds really lovely. So we're going to get back to that. And we also made some of those sub-goals. So we kind of said you can't always go for one big goal. It's good to have little goals to achieve and work towards, and we can put that all together. So last week we made it with one sub-goal, and we wrote it down here.
Yeah, like the cutting potatoes.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about that being the first step towards our whole I want to cook dinner. So now we're on to the next section. We've got our goal. Now, what's our plan going to be? So do you have an idea what a plan might be? Do you remember what we talked about?
Like how we're going to get there?
Yeah, so that's perfect. So it's the strategies that we're going to come up with together to make it really achievable for you to prepare the potatoes for your meal. That's what we're going to start with today. Because after that, we've got our goal, our plan. Next is do.
Yeah, so do the goal.
Yeah, so what is do the goal, absolutely, but also we're going to do that plan. now I think it's a great idea that we actually get that plan going. So now we head over to the kitchen and we can start thinking of some strategies that are going to help us make it much easier to prepare the potatoes. So before we get started, Barb and Holly, I'm actually going to get you to help me set up the kitchen environment. It's really good when you're practicing stuff at home, Holly, that we set up your environment before we get going. We get everything ready, everything we need for the task, everything that we might need to complete the activity, because we know that with Holly's brain injury, and you've been saying as well, Holly, lately, that kind of gets kind of fuzzy in your head and you start forgetting things halfway through an activity.
Yeah, I start an activity and I kind of forget where I was and just get really distracted with what's around.
Yeah, and that is something that definitely happens after brain injury. So what we want to do is make it as easy as possible, not have to be doing extra organising and planning during our task. We want to get it all done beforehand. We also, like you said, you get a bit distracted. We want to decrease as many distractions as we can. So, Bob, if you don't mind going and turning off the TV for me, just because it's really great to have a nice, quiet environment. So if you do these sort of things and support Holly doing this at home and just practicing other tasks, that would be amazing. Holly, we're at the chopping board.
Okay.
Do you know where that is?
Yeah, it's here.
Perfect. And Barb, if you can get me the potato peeler and a knife, great.
No worries.
Thanks, Holly. Okay, and Holly, we're going to grab some potatoes out.
Yep.
And we can get started. Awesome, so now we're ready to go. So, we've got our sheet here to help remind us. So we've got our goal. What's our goal again?
To prepare the potatoes.
Awesome. And then now we're going to think of a plan. So, what can our plan be?
To cut them up.
Yeah, let's go. So, do you think that's what our plan to be? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, now let's do our do. So, let's give it a go. So, you're cutting them up into rounds.
Cool, I did it. It wasn't that hard.
Awesome. So you all happy?
Yeah.
Great. So now let's check. Let's see if our plan worked. So what was the goal again?
To prepare the potatoes.
And did we do that? Did we achieve our goal?
No.
Oh. What are we missing? What went wrong?
We forgot to peel them.
Okay, so we forgot to peel them.
Alright, sorry, I forgot all I was doing. I always get distracted when I'm trying to do my things.
Yeah, I bet that's really frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. Like, we didn't achieve our goal this time, but you said you get distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why? Like I said before, that's just part of your brain injury, and at the moment that's something that you're working through, and because of the injuries and the changes in your brain, getting distracted and losing focus is something that might happen a lot. But why don't we come up with a new plan that might help us get less distracted? How does that sound?
Okay.
Yeah, we can make a plan to help you stay on track.
So I could write down like a recipe.
That's a great idea. That's amazing. Yeah, why don't we do that? Let's go through it together and let's write down all the steps. And what we'll do is we'll get you to write it out, so that way it's in your words, and when we go back over it later and we do it, and we check to see if our plan worked, you know exactly what you're talking about. So I'll get you to write it out on your piece of paper. Alright, so let's start. Again. Let's get a new potato. Awesome, so we've checked it and our plan's worked.
Yeah.
Holly, you did such an amazing job.
Thank you.
Really liked how I could see you going back and checking your plan that you'd written.
Yeah.
I saw that in between steps you're always going back and you're making sure you've done them in the right order.
Yeah, it was much easier to have it actually set out so I could look back on it. If I forgot a step, I could always know it was there for me, it was set.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you find that's much easier having things written down and be able to read off visually?
Yeah, because sometimes it's easier to read it if I say it out loud. It's actually out in the open.
Yeah.
It's what I'm doing there.
And I think when things are, like I said, when you verbalise things, it is much easier to kind of go through the action rather than all just being in your head.
Yeah.
So I think, Barb, if you kind of take this strategy and let's practice this during the week. So maybe one time during the week you sit down with Holly and help her prepare the potatoes for a meal that you guys are cooking, and she can have her recipe here, her plan. If you can just help her and support her, she might need some more cues to look back to her plan, or if she's having trouble with the actual actions. You might need to just support her through that. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think I'm confident with that.
Yeah.
I just wonder though, does it always have to be the potatoes?
No, so this goal, plan, do, check process, Holly, is once we actually get this down pat, this is a really great strategy to apply to really any problems that you're having. A lot of times that you're getting stuck and you find that you can't quite complete a task, whether it's because you're getting distracted or the task is too hard, it's too challenging. What we can do is, and if you can help her with this, Barb, you guys can sit down together and apply this to the problem. What we're going to do is we want you, Holly, to become really actively involved in going forward here in your progress. We want you to be involved in the strategy we make up. We want you to be involved in the problem solving. And this strategy, this goal, plan, do, check, is something that you can take with you and address so many problems that you're having outside of the therapy room.
Yeah, I can do that. I can try.
Yeah, but that's great. But exactly that. Give it a shot during the week, anything that comes up, and we can have a chat about it next week.
Yep.
We can also see how you went with the potatoes. And then maybe we could, if that's feel with a compliment, we can start working on our next sub goal. How's that sound?
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. You're making really good progress.